brought us to this point are extremely traumatic and unfortunate. There is irreparable damage in all of our lives, including yours. I've missed Scott, ponder every day of my life. I'm always going to wonder what my life would have been like had we had the opportunity to raise our son, and we had had the opportunity to grow old together. I'm never going to even know what it would have been like to see him hold him. I will never see the interaction. I hate that I do not have just one picture of Scott with his son, nor do I have just one picture of Beverly with her much-wanted grandchild. This has been a hard pill to swallow. We lost a business that day that I could not see me being able to keep open due to the circumstances surrounding that day. I will never know what the actual cost accumulates to when it pertains to future earnings or the potential to expand our already thriving business that my late husband had built and wanted to keep in our family for our children. Both my son and I have been in therapy to address our loss over the years and our circumstances. The fact is we have never, that we have had to accept this. We will never fully recover, but we have had to adjust. That was taken away from both Scott Jr. and myself. With all of this being said, I want to formally apologize to you, Mr. Kohlhepp, for whatever Scott or Brian said to you or did to you while you were doing business with them that made you feel less of a person or mad. I'm sorry that you felt deceived or even felt they weren't being businesslike during your transaction. I've heard you say in your interrogation that you felt like they were making fun of you. I know both of these men, and I knew their tendency to joke around, and they did it a lot. I also know that they both had the heart the size of Texas. They led the motorcycle industry in which they worked. They also loved their interactions with their customers. I know my late husband, and I know he would want me to apologize to you for this. I'm sorry that the events that led to such a gruesome day had to happen at all, because there was always a better way to deal with things than taking the lives of individuals who make us mad. If that were the case, especially in my life, there would be a lot of dead people. Yet, that just isn't what we do to deal with the people who make us mad. I'm sorry for what it appears could have occurred in your younger years, because it seems you did not receive the unconditional love that parents must give their children in order for them to feel wanted, needed, important, and most of all, loved without conditions. I could be completely wrong. Maybe had you felt this, we wouldn't be sitting here today, who knows? Mr. Kohlhepp, I forgive you. I hurt, not only for myself, but my heart hurts for you as well. I can't imagine the things you must feel or have felt to do the things you have done, and it makes me sad. It no longer makes me angry, it just makes me sad. I want to clarify that there will never be an excuse or any type of justification to do what you've done. But in spite of all of this, it makes me sad, and I forgive you. I would like to urge you with everything I have to please, if there really are any other victims out there, to please let law enforcement officers know of their whereabouts. I have heard that there might be, and I beg you to give other families closure in being able to recover and bury their loved ones. I've had a lot of time to think about this, and the fact of the matter is, I feel like we all have to do better as people, as humans. We have to raise our children to know they're loved, to raise them to know that we have them in our corner and from where they stem. And I have always been completely honest with my son from where he knows where he came from. We have to do it better with our interactions with people and the way we treat them, so that no one will have to say here, as I am sitting here addressing the man who murdered my husband and my mother-in-law. We have to love our family, fix our relationships while we can, and never take for granted every single day. I lost a lot on that day. I will never be able to fix that for my 15-year-old son, nor can I get that back, but I gained a great deal that day as well. I gained a greater knowledge of the goodness of people. I've also learned that God's always had this. I hope with the time that you have left and the circumstances of where you are, that you can come to an understanding that we were both created by the same person, and yet our lives took two completely different paths. I know he loves you as he loves me, and that he's saddened by your choices, yet we're all taught to forgive. By forgiving you, it frees me to be able to positively continue on in my life, God willing, what is hopefully a long, fulfilling life. I pray for you and all of us who have been affected by your actions. Thank you for letting me speak.
Two very brief questions. What was the name of the business that your husband ran?
Superbike Motorsports Suzuki.
And prior to his death, how long had that business been?
10, 12 years.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Kohlhepp, do you have any questions of this witness? No. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Watch your step as you're stepping down.
Briefly, Your Honor, I would call Mr. Scott Carver Jr.
Just come right up here and place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand like the court swear you. Be careful as you're stepping up, and just step up and have a seat in the red chair and pull the red chair up to the microphone.
May I please report?
Yes, sir.
Sir, would you state your full name for the record?
Scott Kohlhepp Jr.,
How old are you, sir?
15,
What is your date of birth?
6/10/2004.
Is Melissa your mother?
Yes.
Scott Carver your father?
Yes.
Did you ever know him?
No.
Tell the court your thoughts on how this has affected your lives.
Your Honor, Counsel, and Mr. Kohlhepp, I'm Scott Kohlhepp Jr., and I'm the only child Scott had. I was unborn at the time of my dad and my grandmother's death. I never met them, but I'm living proof that there can be a bright spot in the wake of this tragedy. Fortunately for me, my mother was able to hang on to her pregnancy during one of the most difficult times in her life, and I was born healthy. Mr. Kohlhepp, even though I never met my dad or my grandmother, I do not wish you ill will towards you, even though I never had the opportunity to grow up working with my dad at Superbike Motorsports. I want you to know I forgive you, and I feel peace sharing this with you, and I truly know that my father, Scott Kohlhepp, and my grandmother, Beverly Guy, are proud of who I am, and I appreciate this opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Do we have any questions of this witness?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. You may step down. Watch your step as you're stepping down. Sheriff. All right. The Brockman matter will be taken under advisement by the court, and we will move to the Carl Mueller as personal representative of the estate of Charles David Carver. Sir, Mr. Ariel.
Hey, God, may it please the court. I'm here on behalf of the estate of David Carver in regards to the damages hearing as the court can see. We filed a summons complaint in December 5, 2016. We served Mr. Kohlhepp on December 18, 2016. There was an affidavit of default that we submitted along with a motion to notice of entry of default. As part of this, we have provided Mr. Kohlhepp notice of this hearing that was mailed to him on June 14, 2019. We've been transported here today for this. Based upon my understanding, the entry of default has been issued through the answer being filed by Mr. Kohlhepp in this matter. We're therefore ready to proceed with the damages hearing in this matter on behalf of the estate, Your Honor.
All right, and I do have a copy of the complaint, and it did verify the fact that it was in default. So be more than happy for you to call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call Mr. Chuck Carver to the stand.
Mr. Carver, if you would, please come forward and just place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and allow the clerk of court the opportunity to swear you in.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you, Mr. Carver. Be careful as you're stepping up. Please step up and allow the pull the chair up to the microphone.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Carver, please state your full name for the record.
Charles Martin Carver,
How are you related to David Carver?
I'm his father.
Okay, and as of this summons complaint that we filed, in 2016, when you were residing in South Carolina,
Yes, sir.
where were you residing at that time?
In Anderson, South Carolina.
Okay. As part of this, we have filed this, and Mr. Kohlhepp has failed to answer in regards to, I want to go through a little bit of the information in regards to David. Can you tell the court when David was born?
November the 19th, 1983.
Okay. And as part of this, he was, Mr. Kohlhepp was pled guilty to his murder sometime in 2016. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How old was he when he was murdered by Mr. Kohlhepp?
33.
Okay. As part of this, I want to go through a little bit of the background in regards to David. Can you tell the court a little bit about your relationship with him?
We were very close. David lived less than a mile from us. We went to dinner frequently. He would come over by the house on his days off just to see what was going on and just kind of hang out some days. He was a family-oriented person. He liked his family and wanted to be close to everyone.
Okay. At the time of his death, where was he working?
He was at First Quality Paper in Anderson.
Okay. How much was he making at that period of time?
He was making just over $20 an hour. And he worked every day practically, so he was making a good living.
Okay. And as part of this, I'm going to go through a little bit about, and I know this is a very difficult time, I want you to be able to address the court and give the impact that this has had on your family and what Mr. Kohlhepp has taken.
It's been very difficult for all 4 kids. You know, they've all suffered in different ways. The 3 youngest ones, you know, they've been in constant counseling, going to bereavement camps, counseling at school, hard time focusing at school, going through counseling, you know, just trying to talk through their emotions. And, you know, it's been hard on all of us. I mean, we've been to counseling as a family on different occasions. And just trying to make sense of it all.
Now, as part of this, Mr. Carver, David had, how many siblings?
4.
And have they been impacted by this also?
Yes, they, like I said, the younger ones have been through multiple counselings, through school and camps, and talking with people that have been through other situations and allowing them to talk about their situation. My middle daughter, she's even read a paper for school on it, trying to express her feelings.
Part of this, I want you to be able to say before anything else you want to, so at this time, anything else you'd like to court tonight.
It's just been very hard on us. We've just, not in all my days would I've ever dreamed this would have happened to our family. David was the most caring. He was the most caring person. He never hurt anybody. Not one person could say a bad word about him. On that day, that phone call was the most devastating call of my life. I think about him every day.